What's up, party peeps? Today we're talking about how a dysregulated nervous system is the number one thing in the way of you taking action.
I share my personal story with crippling anxiety, how I overcame it, and an exciting new program that I will be launching.
Let's freaking go. All that and more in today's host-only episode with Chloe and I. See you on the inside. What up, everybody? Welcome back to Decision Lab. It's host only today. Today, Chloe and I are talking about whether or not your nervous system is sabotaging you from the success you want, from taking action, from execution. Chloe's an expert in this, in helping people with it, not the sabotaging, and helping people with it. So, we're on the cusp of you launching Execution Academy, correct? Is it live?
Yes.
Is it not? Like, where is it at?
Oh my gosh, finishing touches. I'm hoping either this week or early next week at the latest.
Bet. Cool. Okay. So this is one of the main things inside of there. So this is, I guess, a little bit of some foreshadowing before it gets launched. So let's talk about the nervous system and taking action and execution, if you will. First of all, is there a story that you have about nervous system regulation or dysregulation preventing you from taking action on something?
Oh, completely. I am probably the queen of nervous system dysregulation. I swear I came out of the womb having anxiety. I got here and I was like afraid. But this showed up for me a lot in my life. I think majority of my life I had been acting and achieving from a place of stress, a place of dysregulation, a place of lack and not wholeness. And so I've always lived with this tension. And it really came to a head about 6-7 years ago, when I was running my own company, but also working multiple side jobs, trying to make it all work. And I just collapsed. My anxiety got so bad that I couldn't even answer emails anymore. I could barely get out of bed. I was just like complete full shutdown freeze mode. And so that was my turning point of something's got to change. Like, I am miserable. I'm going through every day just in crippling fear, crippling anxiety. And so I started looking into, how do I heal this naturally? I had been on anxiety medication before. I didn't want to do that route. And that's really where I found the somatic and the nervous system route. So I started implementing that, creating safety in my body. And I went from being scared to answer emails and to take sales calls, like absolutely terrified to take sales calls, to literally pitching to investors, growing a following. And now we have a podcast. And so this nervous regulation piece really changed my life. And it also changes how you approach things. Like, it can be incredibly hard and stressful and tense, or it can be soft and flowy and easy, and it all depends on the state of your nervous system.
How did you know when you were going through that your nervous system was in a shutdown mode or that it was dysregulated?
I actually didn't. I knew that I had anxiety, and so I went down this anxiety rabbit hole. I had been dealing with anxiety most of my life. I'd learned a little bit about breath work, and I think it was social media where I stumbled upon acupressure and more somatic work. And I was like, oh, what is this? What is somatic? And it's all about getting into the nervous system and the body. And so it kind of just like layer upon layer unfolded for me as I was doing more research, consuming more content around it. Then I just had this aha moment that, okay, it's the nervous system.
Was there a moment where you were watching something and you were like, holy crap, I have those exact symptoms, so this means my nervous system is dysregulated?
Actually, I was watching this one creator, and I cannot remember her name, but if I find it, because this was years and years ago, I will put it in the show notes. But she was explaining, she was like, I think a lot of our mental health challenges, not all of them, actually are a symptom of nervous system dysregulation, and we label them as anxiety, depression, ADHD. And very often, if you could regulate the nervous system, some of those symptoms go away. Not for everyone, but I think and I would agree with that. And that kind of made me think, because I'm experiencing all these symptoms of anxiety and ADHD, and maybe this is a nervous system thing. And sure enough, I really started regulating my nervous system. The ADHD didn't completely go away. The anxiety is still something I have to deal with on a regular basis. But wow, did my life ever get easier from starting to implement some of these tools.
Interesting. I see it a lot too in the trauma space. Complex PTSD especially can show up. ADHD symptoms, if you will, hyperactive, like can't stay focused or distracted just because your prefrontal cortex is there's less blood in it when you're struggling with complex trauma. So I see it a lot in the in my work with clients as well, and the research that I do. So interesting. that you found the same thing to be true. What are some of the tools that you've come up with to help you with this nervous system dysregulation so you can get into action?
Yes, absolutely. This is one of my favorite topics. So one of my favorite systems to get you out of a freeze state especially is the BBB method. I call it the body, breath, brain method because when you're having anxiety, when you're feeling paralyzed, it's really hard to think your way back into regulation. If you're ever having anxiety and somebody says to you, just think positive, like that's probably
Worst
not
advice ever.
worst advice you could ever have. It's all going to be okay when you're having a panic attack. No, absolutely not. You need to pause, get back into the body, either through changing temperature, like having a warm shower is really good, having a warm cup of tea, or I really like tapping. So using EFT tapping on the chest like this, or one of my favorite methods to teach is butterfly tapping, because this also boosts oxytocin, so our love, our bonding, safety hormone, also improves longevity. So first step is just get back into the body and create some gentle movement from that, especially if you're in a freeze state. And then I like to regulate with breath once you're back into the body and a little bit more grounded. So taking deep breaths or using something like the physiological sigh. 2 sharp breaths in through the nose, 1 long one out the mouth. That will bring your heart rate down instantly. And then once you're in a more calm state, then you can work on the brain. Then you can change the brain to say, okay, yes, I can do this. This is possible. I've got this. I'm powerful. I can find a solution. But if you're in that state of freeze or anxiety, freeze or fight or flight, it's very hard to change the mind.
Yeah, I agree. Something that I suggest to my clients who are stuck, I work with a lot of ambitious women that are just dysregulated as shit. And they have, I call it hustle or hibernate mode. And that's the 2 states of their nervous system. They're either hustling, grinding, stressed as shit, people pleasing, trying to achieve, or they are completely crashed out on the couch, doom scrolling, binge watching Netflix, whatever it is. And those are the 2 states, hustling and hibernating, chilling and not. And to regulate your nervous system, you got to shift that. You've got to change your lifestyle. So tools like you're describing for acute stress and acute dysregulation are great to get you in action in the moment. But then also remember that there are things you can do and should do, in my opinion, to regulate your nervous system in general, like sleep effectively, have time to relax and guilt-free play and exercise correctly and nutrition and all these other types of things that can support your nervous system holistically, not just acutely, if that makes sense. Yeah, 100%. What does that look like for you? Baseline safety. What does that look like for you?
Exactly what you just mentioned. So the sleep, exercise, diet's really important. So especially as a female, having lots of protein in your diet and eating actually right when you wake up. Fasting's become a really big trend, and that can be helpful at certain phases in your cycle. But if you are dysregulated, actually having food within 30 minutes to an hour upon waking actually just tells your body, like, okay, I already have food, I'm safe. So I already have nourishment in my body. I don't have to worry about where it's going to come from. And so you're just teaching and reparenting your body with everything that you do that you're safe. And something I preach a lot is your input is really important too. If your nervous system is dysregulated, what you're consuming on social media, who you're spending time with. Are you watching like serial killer TV shows before bed? Like that's going to dysregulate you like crazy. And so your input's going to be really important. And that input includes diet, exercise, sleep, basically everything that you're doing. Getting sunlight, going for long walks can be really helpful for your nervous system. And something I'm working on right now is quitting caffeine. I'm on day 6 because if you have a dysregulated nervous system, caffeine can definitely push you into dysregulation.
Oh yeah. It's probably the most common thing that we're addicted to as humans. It's like a socially acceptable addiction, but it is an addiction.
I have honestly always had a caffeine addiction, and I've kind of sometimes go off of it and come back to it. And I didn't really realize how bad it was until this time that I tried to quit again. And I'm just like, whoa, my body is going through a lot of changes. The anxiety, the headaches, it's pretty insane what it does to your nervous system. And I feel like it's this molecule of like almost greedy energy in your body. Like it's like, I'm not good enough. I need to go get more and chase and chase and chase. And so it's interesting kind of coming off of that, watching my nervous system recalibrate.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The number of people that I see who are on a cortisol and caffeine diet, just dysregulating the fuck out of their nervous system and allowing themselves to ignore the amount of rest that they need is insane. Caffeine literally blocks adenosine in your brain. So it
Mm-hmm.
does not allow you to know how tired you really are. It lets you push through it. So, and then it just regulates your sleep at nighttime as well. So during the day, you're like, oh, I'm completely fine. And you're just running on caffeine and cortisol. And then at nighttime, you can't fall asleep because your cortisol melatonin cycle, circadian rhythm is messed up. It's just like, holy crap. How many milligrams would you say you drink a day or eat a day or however you ingest it?
Sometimes I am all over the place with coffee. Sometimes I can get away with like one matcha, one green tea. Sometimes I'm drinking like 4 cups a day. Sometimes I'm pounding an energy drink. So I am literally all over the map. But it probably, yeah, balances out to like 120. That's something really powerful that I noticed is my circadian rhythm literally changes when I stop drinking caffeine. I'm not normally somebody when I'm drinking coffee, I really struggle getting out of bed in the morning. When I'm not drinking coffee, I'm up at like 6 a.m. with the sun. My circadian rhythm completely changes. And
Yeah.
I am more tired. Sometimes I need to take naps, and that's frustrating for me because I don't like to waste time. I'd rather just, oh, I'm tired, I'll just have a coffee. But then you're ignoring the needs of your body, and over time, I think that can really be contributing to nervous system dysregulation.
Right. Blows my mind. Like, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I drink coffee. I have 1 cup of coffee every morning. I drink it 90 minutes after I wake up, and I don't drink it past 12. That's it. If I feel a slump in the afternoon, I drink some creatine. I'll get some creatine or whatever. But uh, and it helps with my sleep so freaking much to not mess with it. I'm even thinking about cutting out the one single cup of coffee because I do it fasted, which isn't good for your gut lining apparently. So I'm looking at even like shifting that or adding some. I'm trying to get more protein in as well, so adding in some food or some light breakfast or something like that, like high fat, high protein breakfast that maybe I could have coffee with. So I love breakfast, so we'll see. I've just had the mindset of fasting, intermittent fasting for so long. So it's hard to break that. And it's so convenient because I just wake up and go. I don't have to deal with thinking about making this or cooking this or preparing this or whatever. So, but I mean, I use protein now. So it's not like I couldn't get some egg sandwiches or like get some scrambled eggs from them and just have it ready to go or something. Or so,
My secret is hard-boiled eggs. You can just wake up in the morning and then peel them once they're like have them already peeled, so you just like pop two in the morning. And also, if you can tolerate it, if you can have whey protein or vegan proteins, you can buy those like protein milks and just putting those in your coffee. So then you're just starting the day with like 50, 30, 40, 50 grams of protein. And it's just easy.
nice.
Life hack.
I like that. I used to in college eat peanut butter and tuna sandwiches with honey on them before bed.
What?
Yeah.
Tuna?
To get protein. Yeah. And
That's
protein and
smart.
fat at night. It was
Was it good?
honestly, yeah, like honestly, it was good. Like it tasted good. Like, and it worked. Like that was between my freshman and sophomore year, I was playing college basketball, and coming from high school to play college basketball, you just don't realize how tiny you are. And the guys you're playing against are just so much bigger, faster, and stronger. And so I had to put on a bunch of muscle, a bunch of weight. And so there was like a 3 to 6 month period where I was eating those every night. I was pounding protein. I mean, I was like pumping it up, and I gained like 36 pounds of muscle between my freshman and sophomore year playing college basketball. It was great. I looked like a Greek god, which was freaking cool, but I had to eat so much. It was nuts. But hey, worth it. I could dunk so easy too. Like it was fun, but I digress. Yeah, protein or peanut butter and tuna. Don't knock it till you try it. Okay, surprise, surprise. The ADHDers got lost in the sauce. Let's come back to Execution Academy. Is this stuff that is in your Execution Academy? Like,
So in Execution Academy, my biggest learning and discovery from coaching hundreds of people with ADHD and through my social media channel is realizing that one of the biggest things people in general struggle with and people with ADHD is executing, is having this big picture vision and wanting to do great things with your life, but taking action can be really, really hard for people. And there's usually a few core things that keep people from taking action. And number one is that nervous system, that I'm dysregulated, so I have fear that's holding me back, or I'm just frozen and crippled and paralyzed, or I'm somebody that oscillates in between hustle and hibernation, like Cody mentioned. The next piece is the subconscious, which a little bit goes hand in hand with the nervous system. And so that's the identity work. And very often we can have an identity that's really limiting to us. Say you believe that you can't focus, or I'm somebody who just can't make money, or things never go my way. That identity is always going to hold you back. And so we take action, and our behaviors are driven from identity. So that piece. We also, in the Execution Academy, we work on the dopamine system, especially in ADHD. This is something that can be holding us back. So sometimes we often just don't have enough dopamine or motivation to get us going. Maybe it's not a nervous system problem. Maybe it's actually a dopamine issue. So we tackle that as well. And then we also learn tasks and tools on how to actually execute. So how do you tap into a hyper-focused state? And then from that, how do you take action in a way that's really organized and simple and clear so that you can be as effective as possible? And it feels like fun, it feels like flow, and yeah, you can just take action on those big dreams.
I've gotten to see the early outline of this Execution Academy. I'm very excited for this to get out into the world. The one that's innocuous, I feel like you said earlier, was identity. Mm-hmm. Even in what I just articulated, when I was like, look at us ADHDers getting lost in the sauce and like off topic, I identified with it as opposed to saying it's a part of me or looking at it differently. And it's so easy to identify as things, especially when you got the DSM giving everybody a name for every single thing, which I think can be great. Like it does and can be helpful for some people to realize, oh, this is like a thing and there's like a pattern and I'm not the only one or whatever. Also, what's after I am is really powerful. So be careful. Your identity drives your feelings, your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs, your behaviors below your level of conscious awareness. And it's pretty hard. It's not hard set, but it's by 35, it's pretty set. And you're more predicting your feelings, thoughts, actions, and behaviors than you are actually creating them. How crazy is that? You have no control almost by 35. You've wired and fired an identity together by 35. That will drive you through the rest of your life if you don't consciously take control of it through something like Execution Academy. So that's just like mind-blowing to me.
It's also pretty mind-blowing to me too how quickly things can change and shift when you do take control of your nervous system and your identity. Like for me personally in my life, like I have manifested some pretty crazy, incredible things from switching my identity, working on my nervous system, working on the dopamine system. And so yes, it is sometimes hard and challenging, but once you do the work, things really start falling into place. It's absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. And you do have, you are plastic. Your brain is plastic. You absolutely can change. There's even research out there that shows it's about 63 to like 84 days. So like 90-ish days, if you will, to shift your identity, to actually create a new behavioral change. So it's 3 to 4 sets of 21 days, not just 21 anymore. So Dr. Caroline Leaf is one of the main researchers behind that. So it's kind of interesting stuff. It absolutely can be changed. So I'm excited. Cool. Well, I'm excited for Execution Academy to come out. Any idea of when that will be or any timeline on it, or where are we at?
It'll be either this week, so Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday next week at the latest.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, if it's Friday, I probably will miss it because I will be watching Fantastic Four, which comes out. I'm a Marvel nerd. Let's go. I can't wait. I've been to the movies. I went and saw Superman. Do you go to movies by yourself? I do. I am not afraid to do that. While. But you're not afraid to do it though?
No, I would do it for sure.
Yeah. I do it all the time. Especially now. Not everyone is much of a movie buff as I am, or like superhero stuff as much as I do. So I would go to a movie every single weekend or every single day, honestly. I've even talked about buying a movie theater one day and like running it. I think that'd be so cool. Dude, that'd be so fun. Like, I don't know. It'd be an interesting business to be in, but there's a theater down in the plaza. There used to be a theater on the plaza here in Kansas City, and it shut down. I don't know why. Like, I remember going there when I was a kid, and I just feel like it would be amazing because otherwise it's 20 minutes to get to a different theater from the plaza. So I just don't know why that shut down or what happened, but crazy dream for me would be to buy that theater and like reopen it.
It'd be cool to like almost create like healthy community, like change the theater experience, because sometimes you go to the theater, you like don't talk to other people. You could like change how the seats are. You could have an intermission where everyone talks. and like discusses how the show is going. You could serve
Bro.
healthy food instead. You could do like cold pressed juices. You know, like
Let's just make an
like
already unprofitable business even less profitable. No, I'm kidding.
I think we can make
No,
it
I think
possible.
that's great. I think that's amazing. Like, honestly, even like discussions, like you
Yeah.
could talk before or after, like, or there could be a way to rate the commercial or like the trailers and stuff, or like, dude, that's interesting.
Yeah, like make it
All
more of a
right.
social event, like how the theater is. You know, you go to the
Exactly.
theater and you have wine in the middle and you chat with people. Like, why aren't we doing that at movies?
That is so freaking interesting. I
Es-
absolutely want to do this.
Especially with movies that have like a cult following, like the Marvel movies and stuff like that. I bet you there's so many people that are like Marvel nerds that want to talk about the movie that they're watching.
Easter eggs they saw, things they picked up on. Yeah, that's so freaking fascinating. I would love to do
If somebody
something like
wants to
that.
start a
There's
business
an,
with us, hit us up.
oh yeah, we don't need another
We
one.
don't need
We
another
already got
baby.
supplement coming. We got all sorts of AI companions. Like we got too much going on already. But this
Yeah.
would be sick to do. This is a passion project. This is going to become my side hustle. All right, sweetness.
2027.
Well, end of this week, Execution Academy Alive. We'll have another episode of Decision Lab coming at you every Tuesday, every Thursday. We'll have episodes coming out. So we got some cool ones coming up. We just had Dr. Raul Kapoor on. He runs a wellness clinic. He's a concierge doctor. He spent years and years in the ER as an emergency medical doctor. We had him on, talk with him about all sorts of cool stuff like coffee enemas. So jump on and find out
Psychedelics,
if
coffee enemas.
oh yeah, psychedelics. That was that was crazy conversation about that. But the coffee enemas one is wild because it is just such a why someone feels the need to shoot coffee up their ass makes no sense to me, and there's so little science to support it. It is like perplexing. But he's seen it and he talks about it and whether or not you should do it or try it or if it's worth the risk. Spark notes, it's not. But nevertheless, he talks about it. So lots of cool stuff coming up. And again, make sure you check out follow Chloe. Chloe Goes Inward so that you know when it drops, and we'll drop it on our socials as well. And if you guys have topics, questions, concerns, things you want us to talk about in the future, please hit us up and we will have a conversation about it or bring on the guest. So that's all I got. You got anything, Chloe?
That's everything. Thanks. Stay tuned for Execution Academy.
Peace.
Bye.